Recently, the Obama administration issued a document which questioned the patriotism of American servicemen and servicewomen, the patriotism of Americans who oppose restrictive gun control regulations, the opinions of Americans who oppose abortion, and the opinions of Americans who oppose the policies of the White House on various other public issues. Now, the administration rescinded this document because of the outrage which it caused. However, the fact that the administration issued this document in the first place is an indication of the fact that it is diametrically opposed to the interests of law-abiding American citizens on traditional issues of national importance. Recently, also, the administration has called for the endorsement of an Inter-American Arms Control Treaty, a treaty which, if implemented, which, if ratified by the United States Senate, would lead to an undermining of the traditional individual Second Amendment civil rights of law-abiding American citizens, and to the ability of manufacturers to carry on their firearms business without undue interference from government officials, actually international government officials. Also recently, the President nominated, with his first opportunity to choose a justice for the United States Supreme Court, a judge who has stated that the Second Amendment does not prevent the states from undermining the right to keep and bear arms of law-abiding American citizens. So what do we have in Washington right now? A government which is in effect acting against the traditional social interests of the American citizenry. This is a very dire situation. We have in effect a government which opposes the people. Recently, a friend of mine sent me an email which included a video of the Marines who were standing up to listen to a president, to the president give them an address. The Marines gave the president the silent treatment, as opposed to Marines who gave the previous president their uproarious applause and cheers and so on and so forth. What does this tell us? It tells us that personnel in the armed forces of the United States do not look kindly on this president or on his policies. The people of the United States obviously oppose the president on the policies of social importance to them. We all know, for instance, on the firearms issue, that there are between 90 and 100 million law-abiding firearms owners in the United States. And the firearms owners own approximately 200 million rifles, shotguns, and handguns. People in the United States now are buying between 1 million and 1.5 million firearms per month. Consequently, we have truly an armed citizenry in the United States. The president obviously would like to undermine the rights of this armed citizenry. This armed citizenry has an opportunity to confront the policies of the President of the United States. And they can confront this in many ways. people can confront the policies of the president by letting their newspaper editors know through letters to the editor that they oppose these policies. They can call into radio shows and let them know they oppose these policies. Probably the most effective means that people have, though, in this regard, is by letting their own U.S. representatives and their own U.S. senators know how they feel about these policies. The people may write both of their U.S. senators and their U.S. representative. They may email these people. They may fax them. They may telephone them. Probably the most effective means to let the representatives and senators know how people feel about the anti-American policies of the American administration is by visiting them in their offices, in their own districts, or their own states, or even in their offices in Washington, D.C. This is really a very serious situation. The current administration apparently is doing what it can to undermine the rights of law-abiding American citizens. They are doing this through treaties and through the appointment of judges whose opinions they can expect to reflect their own judgment, their own negative judgment on the traditional values of the American people. It is now time for the American people to wake up to what is going on in Washington, D.C., to let their representatives and their senators in Washington, D.C. know that they will not tolerate the administration attack on American values, despite the fact that the administration appears to have the overwhelming support of the traditional media, the mainstream media in the United States. Obviously, the actions of gun owners who are buying more and more guns, who are joining organizations as they never have before, and various other means, are not taking kindly to the activities of this administration. And they should not take kindly to the activities of this administration. They in fact should oppose it, as they have been opposing it. What is at stake here is the future of the traditional freedom, the traditional liberty of the people of the United States. We have in office, unfortunately, right now, an administration which appears opposed to the traditional interests in these various areas, that is, gun rights, the honor due American servicemen, the people to be free to choose the right to life, and various other factors. It is time for the people then to oppose the administration as well as they can on these issues. Loyalty to the United States demands disloyalty to the policies of this administration. To be a true American, one must exercise the freedom which all Americans have to oppose their elected officials when these elected officials, or especially when these elected officials oppose the true, genuine, traditional interests of the people of the United States.